Hey everyone, I'm Dan.
And I'm Georgina.
And
we got here just in time.
We can't say it like that. We have to be...
Yeah, you're right.
1, 2, 3. And we just...
What?
We just got here.
That too. But yeah, I can't believe January's almost over. It's been a wild ride already, in a good way. So we just got back.
We just got back from Creator Economy Live, and typically on our episodes we kind of ramble a lot about what we've been up to, but today we're trying to keep it focused about our experiences at Creator Economy.
Yes, he said we're trying to keep it focused. He's telling me.
But we have to remind ourselves sometimes about these things.
This is true. It was nice. We had Monday off. Tuesday we flew out. We actually flew out on different flights for once because I booked mine earlier when I found out that I was speaking, and we weren't sure if we could make it work for Dan to come too. But we did. Flew out early, had gotten invited to a really wonderful dinner. But wait, rewind a little bit. The first thing we did, we checked in.
We arrived in Vegas around 11-ish.
Yeah.
And we took a car to the hotel. We were staying at Caesars. Mm-hmm. And yeah, we were thrilled to be there. We had to work a little bit, but we were starving. Yes. So we grabbed lunch at Bar Americano, I think it is. Right in the lobby.
Yeah.
A quick lunch.
Can't remember these things.
Anything about food, I will remember. You had breakfast, and I had a fried chicken sandwich. And then we went back to our room, got a lot of work done.
Yes. And we went out to Brooklyn Bowl. Was it the Brooklyn Bowl?
Right.
Or, yeah.
At Brooklyn Bowl, we had to pick up our credentials first.
At the Expo Center.
At the Expo Center. And you had your first meeting at Brooklyn Bowl while I just sort of mingled with everyone. And I was like, I'm Georgina's +1.
For once. Usually I'm his +1. You think that? I don't know. That was really fun. Saw a lot of people. Finally got to meet people in person that we've interacted with digitally a million times, which is so wonderful. And then we got invited to a really great dinner at Amalfi. Whose restaurant?
Bobby Flay's Italian restaurant in Caesar's Palace.
With #paid. That was so fun. Got to meet influencer marketing managers from so many different companies like Skechers, Reckitt, who owns like Lysol, all of the, like a lot of big companies. There's someone from TikTok, the head of the global creator program there. It was a really great night. We got to just chat a little bit about shop, but then also just get to know other people.
And I had a lobster pasta at that meal, and it was fantastic.
What did I have? I think I had chicken parm. It was good. Great wine, by the way. Fantastic wine. We really just had a really good time getting to know folks. And, it was the first night there. As a great man once said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So while there was a party bus going out to continue the night, we decided to call it a night early and get some sleep.
I think that's one of the best moves we honestly did, because we usually, I'm like,
go hard.
Let's keep going. But you're just like, first you're on a different time zone, and you're like, if we went out that night, we would have barely made it through the next day. Yeah,
and honestly, I didn't feel that great the next day either. I feel like we're just so used to so many conveniences in our home. We've created this optimized space for health and wellness with air purifiers, like humidifiers, and like going to the desert in the wintertime. We were dry.
And it was like a little chilly there. It was like high of 45, which was, not what you would expect for Vegas. But I mean, in Atlanta right now, it's like also 35. Cold. So.
Not what we expected yet again, but that's okay. It's warming up. It's going to be getting into the 60s this week. And we haven't gotten any snow, so we can't complain.
No.
But the next morning, there were some events. There was like a round table at 7:30 a.m. And I was going to try to make it there, but I actually woke up feeling extremely unwell and was kind of worried. So as like an introvert at a marketing conference, it can be really tough. You just want to push yourself and do all the things. But I think one of the other most important things I did for myself was allow myself to be like, I think it might be more beneficial to not go and try to like get myself together before I speak later in the day. So we worked, recovered a little, and then headed out so that we could network, go to people's sessions, learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the morning was great. I went to a bunch of booths. I talked with people at IZEA and Creator IQ, but both companies I've worked for before. Talked to some people about UGC content, which I've been doing a lot lately. I also was like buried in my phone because I was having a lot of content that was doing really well. So it was hard for me to like stay away from that. But
what was the content that was doing well? Because it's still fairly viral.
Yeah, it was
if
like
you hit over a
French
couple million,
onion.
I feel like it is viral. Yeah.
It was French onion soup stuffed in an onion or baked in an onion, which is fun. And that's actually when we first got there. When I said we worked for a few hours, I was like doing the voiceover. Basically, I normally do it in the closet because it's like good acoustics in the closet. So I was like buried on the couch in our Vegas suite, like with the pillows around me, trying to get like the
Where was
sound.
I? Why didn't I see you?
I think you were like getting ready for
yes, I was probably getting ready.
And also I was like real raspy and kind of like, it was a weird audio.
You're like, this is not doing great.
It's not gonna do
he
well.
Always
and
does
of
that.
course, like it's very successful. So, which is great. But yeah, after the meetings and stuff, that's when you had your
I spoke on a panel on talking all about creator negotiations, which something I feel very passionate about as I got my start as a creator. My husband, Dan, is still very much a full-time creator, and I just feel strongly also about equity in pay across the board. So I was on the best panel. First of all, Jolie Jankowicz was moderating. Absolutely incredible. Love her. Have kind of been in her circle in the WIM community together, Women in Influencer Marketing,
what I'd like
for a while.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Just pausing for a second.
No, I was trying not to cough my lungs out. But he took that. He was like, let me insert myself. No, I'm just joking. She must be done finally.
What?
Great panel. We had great chemistry, all of us, vibing off each other, which was wonderful.
I was just going to say what I liked about the moderation, because that's specifically what you're talking about, is that she had a lot of experience in it too. So it wasn't just, a lot of times you see a panel and the moderator's just like trying to be like jokey and like direct the conversation, but she actually had almost as many insights or like little notes to put on what you guys had already said. So it was great. She
was a fantastic person to choose. And it's such a small world because I was connected to her through a professional organization, and turned out she's a twin. That's from Massachusetts.
That we knew in Boston because of the
food world.
Being in the ice cream industry there. What was great is after that panel, you were finally like free of your main obligations, and we could kind of like relax a little, have some drinks. We went back to...
I did have a meeting, actually, though.
Right, but before your meeting, we went back to Caesars, and it was one of my favorite parts of the trip, where we stopped at the other Bobby Flay restaurant, the French place.
The French place was so good.
And we just had like a snack and a drink there, and just like chatted with the bartenders, and just like... It was just like a really nice place, and the shrimp cocktail and the salad were like phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was like a play on the niçoise. They called it the nice something salad. Nice chopped salad. It was so good. Oh, it had like nice beans in it, a lemon vinaigrette. You had fries, of course, a martini. That was awesome.
It was like chill. It was just a moment to ourselves, and like a quiet restaurant in the midst of like the craziness of what happens at Vegas any minute.
Yes. And then
we were going to go to Sushi Samba for dinner.
Yes.
So we were like getting ready for dinner, and that's when Jolie
and I connected, because we had been joking around like about gambling a little together. And she was like, actually, do you want to come to this dinner? Like, I've already asked if it's okay. And like, they would love to have you both. And when I say they, it was Dan and Jacob of 456 Growth Media. And you had actually connected with,
I chatted with Jacob for a minute or before your conference, before your panel,
yeah.
And yeah, so we got ready. We popped over for one last meeting for you, and then we had a nice stroll through like
casinos, a lot of them,
Venetian, just like walking around looking for places to gamble a little. We ended up
doing a good amount of gambling, but like not like tons. We literally, Frida, do you want to join us on the podcast? We took out like $100 to like put on one of those slips. And we were like, okay, let's play as if we're just losing this. Because, like, we can afford to lose $100. We're not going to go crazy. So it was so funny. Dan would be, like, playing and he would lose. And then I would play one time and I would always win.
Yeah, like, every time.
Almost.
When I pressed the button, it lost. When she pressed the button, we won.
It was awesome. So we ended...
We only $20 down.
Yeah, it was, like, great.
But yeah, then we had to rush over to dinner, and the dinner was fantastic.
Oh my gosh. That hummus was like the best hummus I've ever had, I think.
And it was like way too much food in an amazing way.
It's like a tomahawk.
Bringing like steak and chicken and like just
fish,
bringing over
fish,
like fish.
Oh my God, the bread was so good. Like there was just so much food. And we got to talk to so many different people. It's like, when you're new, you're not, you're just kind of like trying your best. But like to our left was Dan. And then we talked to his twin brother, Jacob. And I think they're Geminis too, which I found so funny. And then we talked to another wonderful guy. I cannot remember his name, but he leads the influencer program at OSEA. We all love their body oil. You know who it is. And it was just so great to connect with so many people at the table.
Yeah, the dinners were definitely one of the highlights of the trip because we got to interact with people in like a more candid, chill way where you really just like open up and talk about the industry, which was great.
Also, talking about connections, Dan had multiple people chat with him about management because his current agency did dissolve their talent arm. It's an incredible agency. They do like a lot of cookbooks, like some of the biggest culinary talent they represent. So Dan has been looking,
because they only do cookbooks now. So I needed someone else for the talent portion.
For like influencer work.
Yeah, so it was good to chat with people about that for sure.
Yeah, it was.
And so that was really it. We got up and headed over to the airport and we both got our flights delayed, so it actually worked out perfectly. We landed just in time together. And and got back to freezing Atlanta. But
we landed at the same time, we took off at the same time. I literally saw your plane right as I was getting on, not taxiing but leaving. Landed at the same time. Ordered our Uber and our Uber Eats at the same time. Got home not feeling crazy exhausted and really hit the ground running right after. Another fantastic week. And then worked a little bit this weekend.
Yeah, and we're working right now.
It doesn't feel like work though. Talk to me about what you're drinking, Dan.
Yeah, so we try to touch on what we're drinking.
Sorry.
Try to touch on what we've been drinking lately, and I've loved so many breweries in Atlanta, but I feel like I found the one that's like my real go-to from now on.
Wait a minute. So he said he found it. Okay. So he loves his trusty olds, right?
Well,
he loves convenience, and also it's just like there are so many different aspects that you have to think about, especially Frida can't go to daycare right now. So he was like, let's go next door. We have this great brewery next door and we go there all the time. We love them. the beer is fantastic. But I was like, listen, we already know we have multiple friends, family coming down. We have to continue to push ourselves to explore so that we have like this like real range to provide when they come. And I was like, why don't you like look at one of the breweries that we haven't gone to yet that's on your list? And he was like, okay. So we go, and it's perfect. It is perfect. The most perfect brewery.
So just to stand up for myself a little bit, I love going to new places.
I know you do.
But the thing is, no matter what, you always want to have that burrito at Wild Heaven Brewing.
But we didn't go there. We didn't even go there.
Well, that was our original plan to go there.
No, we were going to go to Imaginarium, weren't we?
No, we were going to fill up our sprays.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you're right. But then it wasn't open.
And so we were like, it was like late in the day, so I was like, let's just pop over next door because we're running out of time, and it's Saturday night, and things are going to be super busy. Mm-hmm. That was my thinking.
But we get there.
Yeah.
We have, and that's totally understandable. But the night, like, from then on was perfect.
Yeah.
We get there, we pull up, there's a parking spot right in front. Never happens. So we're like, perfect. Breeze on in. There's no seats at the bar. We're like, darn. Oh, we'll just at least try one beer. The list looked incredible. We get them, order them, just standing around. A couple's like, oh, you guys waiting? We're just about done. We'll save our seats for you. And I'm like,
so we got there just in time, you might say.
Yet again.
And by the way, we haven't said the name yet. It's called Inner Voice Brewing in Decatur. And we loved it, and we were tempted to get the pizza there, but instead we got Korean barbecue for the first time in like forever.
It was so good.
It was so good.
It was so good.
So,
and
really great night.
It was a wonderful night. Like, it was just a very impromptu night, obviously. Dan was like, when we were on our maybe second round of beers, he's like, what do you want? I'm like, Korean barbecue. And so we were Googling all the different places because there were multiple around us, which I loved. And we ended up just at the greatest place.
Yeah.
I made myself a homemade sangria. It's very inaccurate as far as a recipe, but it doesn't matter. I'm using the Black Girl Magic red blend. Love this. I think Dan got me this. The Health-Ade ginger lemon kombucha. And then I also added some fresh limes and lime juice. And I think a little bit of Cointreau and a little mineral water for a little extra fizz. Clearly no dry January, but what would we call it? Like a damp January? No, that's a lie.
It's been a downpour of January.
Downpour. See? He's like, well, tequila. Everyday tequila. Remember that? Remember that a couple episodes ago?
We were in Vegas, so,
We have some really exciting things coming up. So thank you once again for listening to us ramble.
And I think we'll also do one of our usual like rambly recap of our time recently very soon as well.
Yeah, we have a lot to catch you all up on.
So thanks for listening, and see you next time.
Bye.